Hi, Gil. Welcome to the session. We're happy to have you here with us and excited to hear more on your topic about yield farming and DeFi.
Hello,
Hey,
hello. Yeah,
hey,
there we go.
hey.
It took me a second. I'm better at yield farming than I am at operating a Zoom. So it's great to be here. Thank you very much. Um, like you said, my name is Gil Shafir. I'm from Tel Aviv, Israel. Um, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Don-key.finance. So that's Don-key dot finance. Our logo, whoever didn't have a chance to look, is a very cute donkey with a golden tooth, who's pretending to he dresses up in different variations um, of farming situations, and obviously we're going to use that later on to, well, I'll talk about that later on regarding NFTs and stuff like that. So what does Donkey Finance do? In one word, if I have to define us, we call ourselves the eToro of yield farming. eToro, for whoever doesn't know, is a very big trading platform, and their biggest characteristic is the copy trading function, which basically enables you to follow top traders. And they built a whole ecosystem of social trading within that. And there's a lot of copycats to their own copy trading platform. So today, copy trading is a big thing. About a year ago, in the summer of DeFi 1.0, as I call it, basically me and some other of the co-founders, we were looking into yield farming, and we were very much involved in crypto, and we considered ourselves, to some degree knowledgeable, and we found that it's very, very hard to be a successful yield farmer. Either you know how to do it, but you don't have enough liquidity to make it profitable, because it requires, let's say, bigger amounts. Back then, we were talking about Ethereum, and that was also when Ethereum started to spike up in gas fees. And even if you have the know-how and you have the money, it's a full-time job. You have to be awake 24/7. Things are constantly changing. And it's all about shifting your liquidity from one place to another at the right time. We even said, you can't afford not to be doing it 24/7, because sometimes by being passive, you can actually not only lose alternative profit, but actually lose your investment, because you need to know when to take money out as well when things start to shift. So basically, that was our realization, that it's a full-time job. And we made that connection in our minds to eToro, and how can we enable people to actually copy farm other farmers in the most simple and intuitive manner. And that's how the idea came to life. So to sum up that, Donkey Finance, social trading platform connecting between professional yield farmers and liquidity providers. We launched our token, and saying that, one of our secondary goals is to gamify that space as much as possible, and that goes together with making it simple and intuitive and etc. So we launched our token. We raised $2.5 million from some credible VCs in the crypto space, also from some big influencers like Crypto Banter, which is the biggest crypto YouTube channel at the moment, and Elio Trade, and BitBoy, and Kyle Chase from Paid Network, like known influencers, kind of lined up to back us up. And that was very encouraging. We raised 2.5 million. TGE was in May. 2 days after we launched our token, everything started crashing. So we launched on May 14th, and then it was like May 16th when Bitcoin fell 50%, I think. And, we were like, what happens now? What do we do next? And it actually was a blessing in disguise, because instead of being focused on your price action, it gave us the opportunity to really invest in the building of the DApp and the platform. And a month ago, we launched our DApp for the public. We have at the moment 14 active farmers strategies, because at the moment, each farmer is allowed only to submit one strategy, but I'll share in a moment what our vision is. We have around roughly $13 million TVL in a month and a half, so it's not that bad. And around 2,300 active users. So that's some of the milestones that we're able to do. We're multi-chain, and I make the distinction between multi-chain and cross-chain. We're multi-chain, which means we have live strategies and farmers on Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, and of course, Polygon Matic. And basically, you know, since we're a social platform for yield farming, we're not actually trying to get into bed with any particular network. Like, we're not trying to get any kind of endorsement or make ourselves identifiable with one network in particular, because yield farming doesn't have necessarily that level of loyalty to a network. It is about chasing the best yield. And when a new network presents itself, that's always where the yields are better. And you see this rush of liquidity go into that. And that's where we can be, a real benefit for our users, you know, because it's a very passive experience for our users at the moment. They connect their wallet, they see different farmers, and they just deposit the money following that farmer, and the farmers are swapping the strategies all the time. So when an APY goes down, which happens all the time, of course, that's the nature of yield farming. So when the APY goes down, it's the farmer's job to swap the strategy into something better to maintain that higher level of APY. We have a few other like really nice tricks how to benefit social trading. So we have strategies that use balancer techniques. So for example, we do the rebalancing. I don't know if that's if I'm going a little bit too technical, but bottom line is it enables users to single stake an asset and get APY like they would if they did LP staking, and have almost 0 to none impairment loss. It's battle tested from yesterday because there's big movements. And we have some other social aspects. So for example, if there's an exit fee on one of the strategies that's not connected to Don-key, and I'll talk about the fees in a moment. If there's an exit fee, let's say the strategy involves auto farm, and there's an exit fee on auto farm, and someone wants to, you know, take out his money, his portion from the pool, but there's another person that wants to go into the pool. So basically what we'll do is we'll swap the LPs. That way, the person that wants to take the money out will be deducted the exit fee, because anyway, even if he didn't go through Don-key, he would have to pay that exit fee. But we take that 2.5% or 2% or 0.5%, whatever the exit fee is. I said 2.5 because I have something else in mind, sorry. Usually it's 0.5%. And we distribute that among everyone else who's still in the pool. So all of a sudden it becomes a social aspect where we're able to, no one got hurt from this, no one got harmed through this, but actually doing it through Don-key, there's a benefit for the people that remain in the pool. And there's a whole other bunch of social aspects that we're starting to introduce now, like being able to message the farmer directly. We have a tier system, so the more Don-key you stake, the higher tier you go, and it will give you VIP access to different farms, reduced commission, this whole gamification of the yield farming world. Our token itself, all you need to do is hold 100 Don-key in your wallet. You don't even need to stake it to access our platform. And then you can farm in whatever token you want. Like we're not saying you have to use Don-key in order to make these yields. You can stake, you can follow a farmer in BUSD, in Matic, in USDC on Matic. We have, you know, whatever other token, Cake, Avalanche, whatever it is. So it's not, in no way are we bending the user's arm to use Don-key token. That being said, if you do stake Don-key, then you'll get extra benefits according to the tiers. Our next stage is actually to deploy Don-key on Matic, and then be able to give those tier advantages to Matic Don holders. At the moment, it's only on Binance. For simplicity reasons, that's why we did it back then. And that's pretty much about the platform itself, what it's doing. Just about NFTs a little bit. So we're trying to introduce a utilization for NFTs, because our Don-key is really super cute. I mean, I would even say we raised $2.5 million because of this image of a cute donkey with a golden tooth. That's my that's my analysis of the situation back then. So and you can put him in different situations. So it was like, it's asking to be NFT'd, but we didn't want to just do an NFT thing, because that's not what we're doing. So we're going to give it utilization where you can collateralize the yield via the NFT. So it will place the LP token, and then you can burn it when you want to withdraw back your investment together with the yield. You can sell it, and then it's kind of like selling a tradable bond that whoever buys that NFT gets control over the money that's invested in the farmer. The NFTs can give access to other tiers. I mean, we can do a lot of things with that. So that was everything I can talk about, in one rush. If there's any questions, I would be happy to answer, and I'm sure it will make me think of more things that I didn't talk about.
Thanks for that, Gil. There is a question actually from Gabriel saying, how does Don-key take advantage of DeFi 2.0 protocols like Olympus DAO?
Can I counter question?
Go for it.
Yeah, so what exactly do you mean by take advantage? How do we interact, or is there another insinuation? Is there another point that he wants to know?
Gabriel, you can unmute yourself if you want to clarify, or just type it in chat. How do you get yield from it is the question.
Okay, so I'm not 100% sure I'm going to answer the question correctly, because I'm not 100% sure I understand, but I'll try my best. Bottom line, I mean, I don't know if he's referring to like technically, like how do we interact with the contracts, yes or no, but bottom line, we're not, Don-key is not a pure DeFi project. I like centralized DeFi. So we're like the middleman between a lot of people that they're in the crypto world, they're holding crypto, but they have a little bit of I call it like a MetaMask barrier, right? Like the connect the wallet barrier. And that's something that's a little bit harder for them to do. They're afraid that if they connect their wallet, something's going to happen, the computer's going to explode. Or just the understanding of DeFi and how to make money out of it, and what does impairment loss mean and stuff like that. So that's the audience that we're aiming for. We're not aiming for people that are not in the crypto world. On the other hand, it's not a DeFi protocol in the way that the smart contracts are managing everything at the moment. We have automatizations going on the back end to interact with these other smart contracts. This was actually done not according to the initial vision, but more because of the fact that we found out later on after launch that a lot of smart contracts block interaction from other smart contracts, surprisingly. They don't want automated sell pressure, which kind of goes against their tokenomics if you think about it. I mean, if a tokenomics is healthy, it shouldn't matter if it's automated or not. But either way, it doesn't matter. We found a way around it. And that put us in a position where it's not completely smart contract, but we're in the middle. And for that, we have three main security. It's like, I call it the triangle of security that this is our main goal right now. Number one is, of course, we have an audit from CertiK regarding our token contract, but we're waiting for the results of the audit regarding the pool contracts, and it should be hopefully any day now, maybe 10 days. I'm still waiting for the time frame to be complete. So that means that the pools themselves cannot be exploited, or shouldn't be, and also the pools are pretty simple in their architecture. So I mean, we put a lot of thought into that, because If they're complicated, even if they're audited, there's always an exposure. And if they're simple, the exposure goes down for an exploit. The second point of that security triangle is custodian infrastructure. So I can't say the name, but we're talking to a very, very big player in that field. And we're gonna transform all the assets through that very well-known custodian infrastructure system. And the third is insurance. And insurance was in our initial vision from the beginning. But we looked at it from an aspect not of security, but as an aspect of value to our users, one-click insurance. So if this strategy involves protocols that can be insured, then we'll insure the whole strategy, and with a click of a button, enable the user to add a premium to get access to that insurance policy. So I don't know if I answered the question or not, or if I drifted off somewhere else, but it is what it is. What else? What's next?
Thanks for that, Gil. Someone over here says, would you refer to Don-key as middleware?
As middleware?
Yeah.
Middleware. Okay, so again, for some reason, I'm not able
vague.
to. Yeah.
Okay, so here,
I thought it was just me. Okay, it's good.
So Ida just said, just to clarify, each crypto user who interacts with your protocol gets to vote for the yield farmer strategy, or is it automated?
Okay, so that's really nice. So there's two steps. Right now, if we automate the onboarding of farmers, which basically means that anyone can become a farmer, they go to the platform, and we have that already built because that was our initial vision. We call it a strategy builder. It's a JavaScript interface, drag and drop. You go, you put your profile description, you move cubes around, and you click deploy. And then basically now there's a smart contract, pool contract that people can deposit funds into, and that will follow that strategy. That's the vision. That's where we want to be. That's where we wanted to start off in the beginning as well. We paused it for a step one phase, which is where we are right now, which we call sponsored farmers, which basically the onboarding is manual, first of all. Like, we're talking to the farmers. We're getting on video calls. We're getting to see who these people are. We have groups with our own analysts and chief farmer in order to discuss the changing and shifting of strategies all the time. But bottom line, we're checking the strategies and we're approving them. So they'll give us a suggestion. We look into it. And there's a whole rainbow of risks that can be involved. It can be token risk. Like, well, what is this token that you need to deposit in order to enter the strategy? It could be platform risk. This platform that the strategy is being operated on, is it a known platform? Is it audited? How long has it been up and running? How much TVL does it have? And etc. It can be impairment loss risk, right? So this strategy is extremely exposed to impairment loss. And then we want to at least notify the users, maybe not eliminate it, but at least notify the users. So once we agree that this strategy is approved, then we'll upload it as a sponsored farmer. Why are we doing that? Because we realize that right now, because we're still small and in the early stages, if a strategy fails for any reason, no one's going to blame the farmer. They're going to blame Don-key. And we can't afford that at this point. As we grow, and as there's more farmers and more strategies, that's where we want to give the farmers complete independence to onboard automatically. And then if a strategy fails, it's already an understanding among the users that, this was your choice as a user to follow this farmer. Our job as a platform is to increase the transparency so that you know who exactly you're following. So if there is impairment loss, to make it visually noticeable and understandable. If there's a platform, if there's a protocol involved that's not audited, to make that also visually understandable. And all this to build a ranking system, ranking score, risk score, all this stuff to kind of help the users make the educated decision. And yes, the tier system will be integrated with some governance so that you can vote, allow users to vote, leave feedback, reviews, on different farmers and stuff like that.
And so the next question is, can the user see the strategy if he's comfortable with it, right? So the transparency of being able to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. That exists already today. So every strategy, we do a visual diagram. And I mean, obviously, I think it's beautiful, but so you can see, like in most simple way, like the money starts here, goes down to here, is swapped into this, then exchange into that, and then we get an LP token for that, and we swap it back and auto compound. Another thing that Don-key does, of course, very big advantage is that we auto compound twice a day. So even if it's involved a protocol that doesn't have auto compounding, then we do it. And if there is auto compounding, so that's another twice that we shift. We pull together the transaction fees. I forgot to mention that as well. So that's very, very nice as well. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks, Gil. What would you say is your dream for Don-key? Like, what's the vision, the far-sighted vision for where you want to take this brand?
That's a really good question. I think the answer is, let's put it this way. We have two options. We can say we want to focus yield farming is where we want to take this and only yield farming, or we can say we want the focus to be on the social, right? So, because right now we're doing social yield farming. So I can say, okay, I'm going down that rabbit hole of yield farming, or I'm going down the rabbit hole of social. And the difference would be probably that if I'm going down the rabbit hole of yield farming, then I'm going to want to start developing tools for professional yield farmers to come to the platform and execute their own strategies through our platform, because our tools are very beneficial for them. And if I focus on the social, then I might actually find ourselves offering products that drift a little bit away of yield farming. For example, and in my opinion, there's always going to be, especially in crypto, especially in the next few years, there's always going to be innovative ways to make money that very few know how to do, and many know exist but don't know how to do it. So flipping NFTs, right? Knowing how to trade NFTs, that's a profession today. And I think that there will be people that, if given the right platform, they would be willing to allow people to copy them and take a commission from the profit so that they can manage a much larger portfolio. Yield farming, of course. Social private allocation tokens. Okay, so for example, giving an ability for, everyone knows that crypto projects have tokenomics metrics of, raising money from private investors who then get vesting tokens. Sometimes these people want to get rid of their vesting tokens at earlier stages, and they're willing to give a discount on the current price in order to cash out. If we can build a social system that connects those type of investors with more average retail investors that believe in the project and want to wait out the vesting and get a discount on today's price. I don't know if that was clear, yes or no, but that's another way. And there's other social things that can go down the road. I can't tell you right now which one's going to be the right one. We're trying a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's going to be fun. That's all I can guarantee.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge in getting more people to adopt and get on your platform, to test it out, to get users, to gain traction? What would you say has been the biggest barrier?
Well, first of all, we were very fortunate to, let's say, get support from like the big influencers, like I said, especially Crypto Banter, who really supports our project, and he believes in it and he uses it. So that was a big help on getting users. I think the bigger challenge is actually, we're not on getting users so much. We're still, I mean, that's a challenge that when you have 500 users, you want 1,000, and when you have 1,000, you want 2,000. So it's always going to be there. I think the biggest challenge is development, right? Is dev today. There's very talented people out there, and it's hard to get. There's some kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's very hard to find very good developers, and when you find very good developers, they want to connect to your vision, right? It's not like a employee or something like that kind of relationship. And that was the hardest barrier. Today, I feel like we reached our sweet spot where we have two very, very, very talented developers from India, and they've been with us fairly almost from the day one. They're co-founders, and we're very proud to have them on our team. And they connect to our vision, and they're so talented. It's amazing. But to get to that point in the beginning was very, very hard. And you have to, it's like socks, like you have people coming, developers coming and going. And every time a new person comes, you have to share with them your vision and get them into the loop, only to get your heart broken 2 weeks later.
It's a heart-wrenching space that we play in, what can I say?
Yeah.
But it's also very exhilarating, right, and rewarding.
Yeah.
So we've got a question here, and then I'll ask you one more. This is from Tariq. Does Don-key.finance plan to also integrate into the NFT ecosystem?
Yeah, so I spoke about that a few minutes ago. Yes, NFTs, but no to stupid NFTs. So we're gonna do NFTs, and we have an artist, a very well-known artist, working on our NFTs as we speak. I think, and we already did even a tease, I think, on Twitter with one version of them. But we're only going to release it once our very talented developers find a way to integrate the NFTs with a true utility within the platform. Like I said before, collateralizing yield, for example, right? Giving access to the tiers, giving access to VIP farms, reduced commission, like having like a cheat card, making the NFT like a real entry card to different utilities within the platform. And also, like, there's another idea that we're playing around with, like, as the users interact more with Don-key, they're gonna slowly get pieces of their own NFT airdrop to them, and then when the whole piece comes together, it's a full NFT Don-key.
That's awesome. Ankur has a cool statement here. He said, honestly, Gil, the best asset Don-key has is the logo and the happy colors. Like you said, you know, supporters of your mascot in the room. All right, just a question on your story. What brought you into this space? What inspired you to get into the world of yield farming, and how long back was it?
I've been in crypto since 2016. From a pure, in the beginning at least, from a pure, you know, wish to invest and make money. And I thought there was like some kind of financial opportunity. Only after the crash of 2017 or beginning of 2018, I actually started falling in love with the technological side and understanding the possibilities. And I was watching DeFi from those early stages, and how it can really revolutionize the financial system. Personally, my father went bankrupt in the crash of 2008. And so, you know, I had always since then some kind of antagonism towards financial institutes, big banks, stuff like that, because the experience wasn't a pleasant experience back then. And I saw some kind of liberation in DeFi, and I still do. And I think the only difference is that, you know, I do think that DeFi needs to be at some point regulated in order for it to become open for the masses and full adoption. But I still believe that even a regulated DeFi can empower the individual and give him much more control over his finances, compared to, of course, I'm comparing everything to the situation that exists today without DeFi. Obviously, in an ideal world, it would be pure DeFi, no regulation, no nothing. But being realistic, I don't see that happening. So I think that regulation on DeFi is the way that we should go, and that's how we can reach mass adoption.
Thanks so much, Gil. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's always through those struggles and pain that we kind of transform our lives and try to find ways to be successful. So Thank you for your work. Thank you for sharing and being open and taking our audience through your journey of Don-key. We definitely
Amazing.
have Don-key mascot fans in the room, so.
Great. Great.
All right. Thanks so much,
Okay.
Jill, and feel free to stay and listen into the talks. Thank
Okay.
you for making the time.
Thank you. Bye bye.